how's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be taking a look at Monsters. This is Season 3, Episode 21, and this one's entitled Talk Nice to Me. The episode originally aired February 17th, 1991, was directed by Ernest Farino, and stars Ed Marinaro, Teri Ann Linn, and David Spielberg. And also, fun fact, this episode was written by Paul Dini. Paul Dini did a lot of work on Batman the Animated Series. Really cool writer. Always good to see him pop up. And this is actually a phone whore episode. And you always gotta like these. It's kind of weird. It's a trope that we have seen around. Like, this would be in several movies. Obviously, Scream is super famous. When a Stranger Calls, Black Christmas, Black Sabbath. A lot of movies would have this element of phone whore. But there's something about it. I think maybe because it's done but not overdone, and it's also not usually the center focus. That is one of the cool things about having a half-hour time block episode, is we can actually devote the whole story just to being phone whore. But there's just something about this trope. It just really does work. It's probably because phones and then later the internet, you would have someone reaching out and making contact with you, and sometimes that person's a stranger. But it's not just that they're a stranger, you can't physically see them, you don't know who they are or where they are, and a lot of times in these horror stories, they know exactly who you are and where you are. It is like the vague, shadowy figure, but done through technology. And yeah, I think that's probably why phone whore just hits so solid every single time. But I do want to say there is a bit of a spin and twist on it. The guy is the one getting threatened this time around, and the voice on the phone is a female. But you also have, like, a jerk gets his comeuppance story, which you do see in Anthology horror quite a bit, but not in phone horror, so that is kind of cool as well. I mean, this is Paul Dini writing, so the characters will be pretty lively, but it's primarily just this one guy on this one set. Honestly, a pretty small in scale episode. Like, we do get to see his friend on a second location, and his girlfriend does show up once, but when it feels small, it's because it's supposed to feel small. He's all alone on the telephone, and it really just, it works. I don't want to say this is the best episode of the season, but it is a really nice, tight little episode, and it's a really good time. Even if it's not the biggest, best thing ever, I think it panned out pretty well. So yeah, definitely check this one out. Always cool to see Paul Dini swing by. Anyway though, in order to analyze it further, let's talk a bit about the episode. I'm gonna be avoiding the end, so no major spoilers, but I do want to say my piece on a few plot points and make sure you guys have a basic understanding as to what the episode's about. We open up with this guy, and you know right from the beginning it's going to be a jerk gets his comeuppance story, because it clearly establishes he's a womanizer. He has his main girlfriend, but he also has a bunch of other girlfriends too, and yeah, he's definitely a player. He's calling up all these ladies on his phone, and even though he does have a main girl that he is cheating on, and yeah, we're definitely waiting for the comeuppance here. However, that's when he gets a mysterious female voice calling him. The female voice acts like she knows him, but he has no idea who she is. And the idea that because he is such a womanizer, maybe this might be something coming back to bite him, it really does lend a bit of danger to him. But she starts to describe things that he said or did recently, which if she just called him up, she shouldn't be able to know. So what is this girl doing? Is she watching him with binoculars? Does she have like a spy camera? Is the phone tapped or something? He doesn't know, and that's the thing, is there's a stranger, I don't know who she is, and she's talking to me saying things she shouldn't know. We're going to get into the paranoia. But to top this all off, the mysterious voice on the phone only has one request, and that is to talk nice to me, just like you do outdo all those other girls. Yeah, I do wonder what she's up to. Is that all she really wants, or is there a bigger scheme here? We'll have to figure that out. But I do want to say here, fun fact, she's not in the opening credits, but the voice on the telephone is actually Tina Louise, Ginger from Gilligan's Island. That was a great surprise reading that in the end credits. I'm like, oh, that was her. Wow. Again, cool to see her pop up. But of course, after these phone calls, he gets paranoid. He has to like change his number. And of course, after he's changed his number, he has to call all the women that he's trying to seduce. And there's a few gags in there, like one just got married and he didn't know. And the last person he calls is his mom. And I'm like, dude, you save your mom to the end there. Okay, I get it. But we do get a few other characters showing up. He has his boss at work and we find out he's like this rich, kind of like hot take column writer for the paper. So yeah, kind of a cushy but hot-headed job. And this is keeping him from writing, of course. And his boss is like, I totally get it, you have a problem, but I just need your column. And of course, eventually we will get to see his girlfriend in person. And it is kind of good that someone else gets to be thrown into the mix for a while. Now, this last little bit, I don't really want to spoil anything, and I'll try to talk around it, but I think if I say this, some people might put everything together, so if you haven't seen the episode, maybe pause here. But the thing is, this is one of those episodes that, because it's on monsters, it does ruin the ending a little bit. I'm, again, trying to be vague, but if you know monsters, you know the series has one rule, and you're like, wait a minute, I'm watching monsters. Doesn't that mean that there has to be a, okay, wait a minute. Yeah, maybe if this was an episode of Darkside, the ending would have been way more surprising, but whatever. Anyway, though, it's still a great episode, and I definitely recommend it. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Phone horror is really cool, and it's always good to get more of that. Anyway, though, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll leave a relevant playlist on the bottom. This should be my Monsters playlist. If you guys want to see me talk about past episodes of the show, you should be able to find them there. Anyway, have a good day. See you guys again very, very soon. Playlist here. Have a good day now.